kung talagang ka-damage naman, kung talagang sabihin na isa kang magnanakaw, kung magnanakaw ka naman, sino may kasalanan yun? Hindi naman ang kasalanan ng mga vloggers nun. Pag sinabi na isa kang incompetent public officials, and that is true, bakit kasalanan ng nagsabi yung totoo? And the fact is that you're a public servant, no? Kung wala ka palang capacity, why are you still sitting in public office? So parang sinasabi nila na, okay, hindi niyo pwedeng batuhin kami ng ganyan. That simply shows, again, that the TRICOM is not about on the idea of fake news, but on controlling the flow of information that has something to do, that's something that has something negative about them. Yun yung nakikita natin dyan.
Sir, ano po yung key takeaways sa naging hearing po ng House of Representatives, yung kanila pong TRICOM kaugnay po sa investigasyon sa sinasabi nilang fake news at disinformation?
Yes, basically the hearing is a form of harassment and intimidation against selected bloggers or journalists of the country. That's basically my takeaway when I was watching the TRICOM hearing. No? It's not really about a conduct in order to determine the application or the spread of fake news. So it has nothing to do with it. No, it's more of a witch hunt for people who seems to disagree with the people sitting in Congress.
Sabi naman po nila, sir, hindi daw yun ginawa to quell freedom of speech bilang member of the bar. Ano bang masasabi mo dyan, sir?
Basically, that's what they are saying, but what we are saying is opposite. No, basically, what we see is a form of intimidation and harassment. At nakikita po naman yung kung paano sila magsalita, magmura, magpahiyain ang mga taong wala doon, no? At ang nakikita ko is the arrogance of Congress and the message that it wants to send to these bloggers, no? Para magkaroon ng chilling effect and actually a form of suppression of speech of the press and expression. Kahit ano pong sabihin nila na punta kayo dito, hindi namin kayo i-contempt. But the fact is that these people sitting in the Quadcom and the TRICOM now are known, no, for abusing the power of contempt. So yun yung nakikita natin. So kahit sabihin niya sa mga vloggers natin na pumunta sa Supreme Court para humingi ng clarification and support ng help to clarify for this stand, the way the manner of the speech, the way they speak of people, nakikita mo kaagad yung kanilang intent, no? So kahit ano pang sabihin nila na ginagawa namin to, iba yung kanilang sinasabi.
Sir, nakikita po ba ninyo sa panahon ngayon na mainam itong mga ganitong hakbang ng House of Representatives? Sa dami po ng mga pending issues na dapat po nilang sagutin. Number one po yung issue sa 2025 BICAM report na hanggang ngayon ay matindi ang sigaw ng constituents ng iba't ibang mga legislative districts para po magkaroon ng kalinawan mula po sa mga kinatawan ng mababang kapulungan ng Kongreso.
I will agree with you, Boss MJ, no? Or si Admar. Ang ginagawa lang naman nila is I don't see the reason or the sudden urgency of saying that there is a napagkalat ng mga fake news. We had in the age of information for quite a time now. And suddenly when they are being criticized, suddenly sasabihin nila na there's an increase of fake news, or how do we clarify it? How do we source out? No? How do we stop the spread of fake news? Actually, nagkaroon na ng maraming hearing regarding the spread of fake news. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng batas, yung cyber libel, in order to deal with what's being uttered, no, in social media, no. At this point in time, it's very suspect. Kung saan ang pinakamalaking issue right now is yung issue ng scandal ng BICAM report coming from Congress, no. Yun ba ang gusto nilang tignan, na yan ba source ng fake news? Ang dami po natin dapat tignan ngayon as a country, especially yung pagtaas po ng mga prices ng lahat ng bilihin. Yan po, ang pagkuha po ng pera sa PhilHealth, pagkuha sa pera ng SSS, pagkuha sa pera ng GSIS, pagkuha ng pera sa PDIC, pagbibinta ng mga ginto. And these are matters of concern, no? Pagtaas ng unemployment. These are matters of national emergency and urgency that our beloved congressman should be looking into. Ngayon kasi ang tinitingnan nila is yung yung fragility ng kanilang mga ego, kung bakit sila nabibigyan ng mga nabibigyan ng mga criticisms. But they have to acknowledge, in fact, that this kind of criticism is part and component, no? It's part and parcel of being a public servant. So dapat hindi sila come up with an investigation wasting the people's resources in money at the time na kulang tayo ng pera. You should be focusing on something more productive.
Sir, bago lang si Partner Admar, anong komento po ninyo dito sa quoted statement ng isa po sa mga members ng TRICOM? Nagsasabi, and I quote, "The inquiry aims to ensure that all proposed legislative measures align with the constitutional guarantees of freedom of speech and expression and prevent any undue censorship." The word, sir, is undue censorship. Anong masasabi mo doon, sir?
Yes. Basically, ang tatlong pinag-usapan nating karapatan dito is yung freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom of information. They are, in the hierarchy of rights, are one of the most important rights of being a Filipino citizen. No? At ang ibig po sabihin nito, kung bakit tayo nagkaroon ng ganitong karapatan, is actually more of the freedom from punishment and freedom from curtailment coming from the state. That's why the Constitution is quite clear that the Congress cannot pass any law abridging the freedom of speech, of the press, and of expression. Ibig sabihin po nito, it is more of, huwag niyo pong pakialaman yan. Because the Congress is not an arbiter of truth. No? Hindi po sila magsasabi kung ano ang fake sa hindi. Ang meron po tayong mechanism is that we have penal mechanism and we have civil law that would punish people, no, who are guilty of spreading fake news. But the precepts or the standards of determining that is not congressional but rather legal in character. Kaya nga meron tayong tinatawag na cyber libel law. The libel law, we have slander, we have defamation, we have intriguing against honor, we have abuse of rights. These laws are enshrined, no, in our society. But first and foremost, it is not the function of the Congress to determine what news is fake or not.
Attorney, magandang gabi po. Si Admar po ito. Sir,
Hello, Admar.
meron din pong mga nagbabanggit na kasi nga marami na information dati, TV, sa radyo, sa newspaper, tabloids, nalalaman natin yung mga impormasyon, no? At mas pinabilis na ito ngayon dahil nga po dito sa social media. Pero meron tayong narinig, lalo na doon sa unang hearing, na sinasabi pang wala daw silang kalaban-laban doon sa mga pagpuna sa kanila. Kung mapapansin mo, ang mga pagpuna naman dito sa mga vloggers na ito, ay patungkol lang din naman sa kanilang mga trabaho. Sa tingin nyo po, wala silang kalaban-laban? Wala po ba silang access na kaya nilang sagutin ito na pwede silang magpatawag ng press con? Meron ding available sa kanilang social media, sa lahat. Facebook ba yan? TikTok, sa Twitter, pwede nilang sagutin ito, maglatagan ng mga resibo. Sa tingin nyo po, attorney?
Ang pinanggagalingan ng statement na yan is it's quite ignorant, no? Hindi mo kailangang labanan ang fake news in that way or in that concept when it's being what's being said pertains to the function of your office. Labanan mo ang mga fake news na yan by doing a good public service, by adhering to the concept of good governance. Because no matter what they say, no matter what they will throw at you, if your performance as a public servant will prove otherwise, hindi mo kailangang labanan. And you are not, of course, for me, kasi you are in a position of power and authority. Pag nilalabanan mo, in a way, no, parang for example, in a way na magkakanda ka ng congressional inquiry, yung mga statements against you, that is unfair. Because unang-una, ang nagpapasahod sa iyo, ang mga taong bayan. No? And the way for you to prove that what you are doing, what they're saying is wrong, is to prove that you're doing your job correctly.
Opo, kasi ang sabi nga nila, sa paglaban daw po dito sa maling mga impormasyon, ay maglatag pa ng marami pang mga impormasyon, no, na maging yung free flow ng mga information na nabasa po ng lahat. Para kasing ang sinasabi nila na bakit ba mas tinatangkilik yan? Eh kung panig naman sa kanila or pwede naman sila magsalita dito sa mainstream media, may kakayahan naman sila. Pwede namang hindi manggipit, no, dito. Kasi yun nga, parte yun ng kalayaan. Para sa mga magkakapitbahay, mag-uusap lang kayo, eh, hindi naman siguro na ipapakulong mo agad, di ba? Magbibigay ka ng side mo. Pero imbis na magbigay po ng side, ito po yung naging ginagawa nila is panggigipit na lang. Ito ba'y patunay na guilty rin o maaring guilty sila sa kanilang mga akusasyon laban sa kanila?
I will agree with you na it's na nanggigipit sila, and that probably is also my observation. No, why? Because if you want to talk about the free flow of information and the spread of fake news, ang ginagawa mo kasi is targeted bloggers eh. Ang nangyayari is nakikita mo na yung mga bloggers na to are more likely yung mga followers or yung bloggers that is pro previous administration or Duterte bloggers, no? And then second is that we have seen a pattern in Congress that there has been a continuous political persecution against the Duterte, no? And after that, there is again an impeachment filed at the 11th hour against the Vice President. And right now, we have this persecution, a congressional persecution against the bloggers that are onto this side of the fence. So I don't think that the inquiry being made by Congress right now speaks of good faith. It does not read of good faith. Ibig sabihin, nakikita mo bisa sa pattern ng ginagawa ng Congress ngayon, that is not about a matter of trying to address fake news, but a matter of trying to control the flow of information, and for them to stop yung fake news is something associated with the previous administration. Kasi kung totoo na ang tinitignan mo is yung mga fake news, sila lang ba ang purveyor ng fake news? What about the other side? What about other issues? What about other topics like entertainment? No? Nakikita natin kasi ang yung pattern targeting a particular political line. So para sa akin, there is no clear intent on the part of the TRICOM. They don't have moral ascendancy to actually speak, no? Or actually be the arbiter of what is fake or not, or to be the arbiter of saying that there is actually a spread of fake news or not.
Meron din silang sinabi po, no, na kahit na paghalimbawa meron nang naipost laban sa kanila, tapos kalaunan ay halimbawa magkaroon ng patakaran na ito po ay ma-delete or ma-down, eh sinasabi nila the damage has been done na raw po, no? Kumbaga napinsalan na sila. Kumbaga, ito ba ay, meron ba silang moral ascendancy na sabihin nila ito? How about yung kanilang mga nagawa na dehado? Lalo na yung taong bayan. Kasi parang ang mga vloggers, vino-voice out lang din nila. Sila lang yung parang naging representative ng taong bayan sa mga nababasa nila na pinupunan nila ang nagiging trabaho ng mga public servant.
Tama yun. I agree with you. Tama po yun na ang mostly ginagawa lang naman dyan is to represent what's being said on the ground. At kahit sinasabi lang the damage has been done, if it's not the reality, kung talagang ka-damage naman, kung talagang sabihin na isa kang magnanakaw, kung magnanakaw ka naman, sino may kasalanan yun? Hindi naman kasalanan ng mga vloggers nun. Pag sinabi na isa kang incompetent public officials, and that is true, bakit kasalanan ng nagsabi yung totoo? And the fact is that you're a public servant, no? Kung wala ka palang capacity, why are you still sitting in the public office? So parang sinasabi nila na, okay, hindi niyo pwedeng batuhin kami ng ganyan. That simply shows, again, that the TRICOM is not about on the idea of fake news, but on controlling the flow of information that has something to do, that's something that has something negative about them. Yun yung nakikita natin dyan.
Opo. Sir, may nakikita nyo rin po ba, may nakikita rin po ba kayo na pagkakahalintulad doon sa pinatigil sa Amerika ni US President Donald Trump na pinatigil niya yung censorship na ginamit ang gobyerno nila laban sa mga kalaban sa politika sa pamamagitan ng sinasabi nilang paglaban sa fake news, di ba? Matatandaan natin, una nang pinatanggal ni Mark Zuckerberg yung mga tinatawag na fact-checkers kuno, no, sa kanila. So parang in connection ito sa later on na naging nilagdaan ni President Trump na executive order, no? Na itigil na itong censorship at ibalik ang free speech. Nakita niyo po ba na kung ano yung galaw noong nakalipas na Biden administration at sa kasalukuyan, ito po'y magkakalintulad or maaaring ginaya doon sa Amerika kasi naging epektibo noon sa Biden administration yung pagbubusal po, attorney?
Yes, siguro not in all parallels, but siguro nakita nila nung sa Biden administration nga na, uy, epektibo pala to, no? In order for us to control the flow of information. Pero I don't think that at this point in time, it's quite relevant to the people. Kasi kahit yan yung ginagawa nila, if you look at the comments in the social media itself, there has been a pushback against the action of the TRICOM. There has been an acknowledgement on the part of the population that what the TRICOM is doing is actually trying to restrict freedom of the press, of information, and of speech. Nakikita natin sa reaction ng taong bayan na ang ginagawa nila ay talagang pambubusal. They're actually cognizant of the fact na nagkakaroon siya ng chilling effect. So, siguro kahit ginagawa nila ngayon, the believability of the TRICOM is quite shot. So, ibig sabihin, mababa ng level of confidence ng mga tao na ang ginagawa nila ay paghahanap ng katotohanan. Ang nakikita ng taong bayan, yan ay isang paraan ng harassment and intimidation, and that opinion is shared by millions of Filipino people.
Opo, at ulitin ko lang sir, no, meron ng sapat at hindi na kailangan na gumawa pa ng panibagong batas sa paglaban nitong mga sinasabi nila kung mga maling impormasyon at kung sila ay nasaktan. Marami na pong available na remedy na pwede na po nilang gamitin at parang pag-aaksayan na lang po sa pera ng taong bayan yung mga pagdinig na yan. Kasi kung napakinggan ko rin kahapon, parang medyo kulang din sila sa kaalaman patungkol sa galaw sa social media. Marami din silang mga katanungan din po, attorney.
Yes, totoo nga yan yung pag-issue ng mga subpoena sa international organizations like I think that's Facebook and TikTok. No, it has legal implications. It carries legal question. So yung ginagawa nila ngayon is I quite agree with you na it creates a degree of censorship immediately. At siguro yung sinasabi nila na may damage na nangyari sa kanila, there is sufficient legal safeguard for them to right a wrong. Kaya nga sabi ko kanina, ang damage kasi something personal you don't want to create a law that would probably punish everybody. Kasi if a certain blogger said something about you and it damages your name in public, then do something about it. They can you file cyber libel or probably defamation, or kung narinig mo sa harap mo slander. Marami tayong mechanism available to them. But to create a singular standard that would apply to all forms of speech found in social media, that is something very abhorrent, no? Hindi yan dapat pinapayagan at hindi yan inaayunan ng saligang batas. Na dapat walang form of restriction. Dapat actually ang discussion in the public sphere should be uninhibited, free from the specter of punishment or restraint. Yan po yung nakasaad sa ating saligang batas at sa mga desisyon ng ating Korte Suprema.
Oo, para na rin din siguro nila sinabi, kung baka gusto nilang sabihin na bawal kaming punahin, mga kongresista.
Yes, totoo yan. Because I was listening to some of the statements ng mga congressmen. It's very unbecoming of a congressman na magmura, no? Kung minura ka, bakit mo, I mean, is that something wrong? Kasi ang standard sa atin ng speech sa Pilipinas is that a speech can be restricted if it presents a clear and present danger. The presence of a substantive evil that the state has the right to repress it. Pag minura mo sa congressman, it's not a substantive evil. The state has to repress that kind of speech. Hindi eh. Pero the way they spoke yesterday, lang parang sabihin ka na bakla ka, it has nothing to do with it, no? So, nang minura sila, mamurahin din nila. Then it simply shows that you do not care about trying to keep free speech unadulterated. You just want na kunin yung mga vloggers niyan, pahiyain, no? At murahin. Yan ang nakikita natin dyan. That has been the theme of the TRICOM hearing from the first hearing and the second hearing.
Kasi pwede lang sigurong gawin ng ating pamahalaan, it's either payagan o hindi payagan na mag-operate ang isang social media platform, attorney. Parang kagaya din doon dati sa Amerika na ipatitigil yung TikTok kasi hindi na nila maagapan. Kumbaga siguro marami nang hindi rin naniniwala. Kung hindi rin naniniwala yung ating mga kababayan sa kanilang sa public service na ganito, marami silang mga sinasabi, talagang magre-reflect naman yan. Hindi naman agad siguro maniniwala yung mga tao kung hindi rin nila personally nararamdaman yung parang narinig nila sa vlogger. Oo nga, no, ganito talaga yung nararamdaman ko. So nakaka-gain sila ngayon ng mga followers, ng mga engagements, mas marami ng naniniwala sa kanila kasi siguro naramdaman din nila ito sa kanilang pamumuhay, sa pang-araw-araw nilang pamumuhay po, attorney.
Tama po. The public sphere, the discussion in the public sphere is quite different now with the presence of social media. Alam po naman natin yan. That's something that's not even contemplated by the Constitution na nagawa siya ng 1987. No, it's a totally different ball game now. And we have seen the rise of bloggers more so than the traditional media. And there has been a lot of tinatawag ng following, no? Because these bloggers can better articulate what they feel. And I feel that is one part of change that we have to accept. That we have these bloggers who can actually say and articulate the heart and soul of the Filipino people. Ngayon, tingnan mo itong nangyari sa TRICOM. They invited 37 bloggers na pro Duterte to say kung ano na sila daw expert at kailangan pakinggan ang kanilang mga opinion. Why 37? And why on the other side? Predominantly on the other side. Why not on other aspects of social media? Kasi nakikita naman natin kanina sa hearing pala kahapon ang dami lang hindi alam, ang dami lang tinatanong, ang daming mga tagos na tanong. So why not call for experts on these particular fields? It wasn't even established that these bloggers that they are being requested to be present are experts, no? They're just simple bloggers. So nakikita natin, yung nakikita ko there's a targeted bloggers or audience that they want to bring into the Congress. Kaya lang nakikita ko dyan. So, but because of that, no, it shows a particular pattern. Nakikita ko dyan ang harassment, intimidation, and the possible chilling effect na pag hindi kayo tumahimik, dadalhin kayo namin dito, at alam nyo naman yung ginagawa namin sa ayaw namin yung mga sagot, kinokontempt namin ang mga yan. Pag kinokontempt namin ang mga yan, dinadala na sa mga bilangguan. Case in point, si Colonel Grijaldo. Case in point, si Doc Lorraine. Case in point, na nagtanong lang kung saan ginamit kung magkano ang travel expenses ng speaker, si Ka Eric. Yan po lahat sila kinulong dahil ayaw ng Congress ang kanilang mga sagot.
Attorney, ano po yung direktang epekto nito sa mga ordinaryong tao kung magagawa nila ito doon sa mga nakikilala na mga vloggers po, political vloggers, attorney, na halimbawa kung sakaling magipit nila, ma-contempt nila, mapahiya nila, ano na lang po, paano na lang ang mumunting boses ng ating mga kababayan? hindi na nila may express yan, lalo na ngayon na nabibigyan sila ng pagkakataon. Meron ng social media kasi unlike before, kung sa TV yung mga information, hindi talaga sila nakakapag-voice out, no? Wala silang pamamaraan. Sa radyo, ganun din. Walang comment section, kumbaga, no? Malalaman mo na lang yung kanilang mga hinaing pag nagsasagawa na lang ng kilos protesta. Pero ngayon, yung form of protesta ng ating mga kababayan, idinadaan na lang din po nila sa social media, attorney.
Yes. The effect of government's action in the curtailment of the freedom of the press, of speech and expression, is the suppression of their ability to demand accountability from their government. Primarily, the purpose of freedom of speech is to demand accountability from the government. If you suppress that and the ability of the people to do that, then you suppress this medium of accountability. And that, I think, that's what they want. Kaya sabi ko kanina, there's nothing to fear when it comes to public service and the criticism that comes with it if you do your job correctly. Because people themselves will defend you because they know that they are doing something wrong. They will see the purveyors of fake news as fake news talaga. Kasi alam naman lang mali ang sinasabi. That is the balancing and the counterbalancing mechanism that you see in social media. Hindi dahil may fake news, wala magsasabi kung ano ang totoo. But if you remove that freedom, if you put the aura or the specter that if you say something negative about somebody powerful in government, that you could be cited, no, for possible punishment, then you curtail that medium of accountability. Yan yung pinaka-greatest danger ng curtailment of speech. You remove a modicum of accountability that is supposedly a way for us to make our government accountable to us, Filipino people.
Attorney, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras at panahon ngayong gabi. Sa ulitin po, ingat po kayo.